Hello everybody and welcome to today's this week's weekly gospel. So this week, what we're going to be talking about is something I heard at my Bible study today. So we're reading a passage out of Matthew 5, I believe it was 21 through 26. I know it started on Matthew 5:21. Yeah, it was Matthew 5. Okay. And basically this passage is talking about if you're gonna if you're gonna whoever's gonna say, I forgot the past, but I do remember one point we made about it, which might be irrelevant to it, but kind of the big story behind this passage is reconciliation before you go to court. That's kind of, it's telling you, if you're going to do these bad things to your brothers and sisters, reconcile before you get to court. And this is like a literal court. But someone said when you get to court, you're instantly on sides. When you're in court, you're not trying to resolve. Like, yes, you're trying to resolve, but you're not mutually trying to resolve. One person wants to win. He wants to win. He wants to win. Both can't win. Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose. So once you're in court, basically, it's head-to-head. You guys are going against each other. You're on your side. He's on his side. There's no compromise or anything like, oh, I guess I did this wrong and I did this wrong. It's like, nope. Judge rules. Someone wins. Someone doesn't. So when you get to court, and this is literally a Jewish court. What the passage. Oh my gosh, I'm peeling so much. Oh wait, that was the tag of my shirt. I'm like, wow, this is huge. What is this? It's the tag. But when you get to court, you guys get what I'm saying. You're side and side. And that's really not good. So the passage was talking about reconciling before you get to court, because before you get to court, you can come up and you can say, we're talking about how to reconcile today if you have beef with someone else. And the key is to say I, not you. Not like, you did this and you did that, and I don't want you to do that, so you need to stop doing that. Make it about you, this is the only time you should make it about you. But since you're talking about bad things, you want to make it about you, not the other person. So you know what? I feel really sad when you do this. I feel hurt when you do this. And just talking about reconciling and trying to get to a mutual place. And a reconciliation does not mean these two people are mad at each other. Successful reconciliation does not mean that you are best friends again. It just means that you're not mad at each other. That's really all that reconciling is. It's just, if you're mad at this person because they did something or you did something and they're mad at you, so then you're mad at them, you don't need to become best friends again and start having, hanging out from 2 to 7 every Thursday and Friday. I don't even know what I'm saying. But, that doesn't mean you need to be best friends. It just means you need to stop being mad at each other. You need to get to a point where you both have accepted whatever you guys did, and you're okay. See him walking down the halls, you say, hey, what's up? So that was that. But then back to the main thing. So this main thing is reconciling before you go to court. And then the other side of it was reconciling before you go to do your sacrifice. So of course, before Jesus died for our sins, you had to sacrifice a pure lamb. So what you would do is you'd go to the temple and you would sacrifice, and that's basically your ticket into heaven. And he was saying, like, imagine, put it in the 21st century, you're driving to temple to go sacrifice your lamb, and you get cut off, and you're, like, mad, like, what the heck, dude? Screw you, don't cut me off. And so now you're mad at this person, but you're still going to sacrifice. And what Jesus is trying to say here, is it Jesus? I think it was in red. Is that the sacrifice means nothing now. You cannot sacrifice when you still have internal problems in your heart. That's not going to solve it. Because back then, of course, you know, if you're going to the temple to do a lamb sacrifice, of course you're a religious person and you're definitely going to heaven. You're great, but whew, voice crack. But that's just external. Going and sacrificing doesn't actually make you religious. It just makes you look religious. To actually be religious would be to stop before you get to court, say, okay, come over here, pull the, I guess this 21st century example doesn't really make sense anymore, but you know, whatever, find the guy that cut you off, and you say, hey, I feel sad, I feel hurt, I feel angered that you cut me off, and then you work it out, and then you're not angry at them anymore. There's no more hatred in your heart. So that was kind of the big idea for tonight. Just about reconciliation, and you guys get what I'm saying? I think you do. Reconcile before you get to court. Reconcile before you make that sacrifice. Don't think. So the today example of, obviously you're not going to go sacrifice a lamb, but like being on the worship team, or leading a Bible study, leading a small group, leading, you know, just leading anything in the church. Or, you know, any church-related thing, you can't go up and lead a small group, but someone in the group you don't like, or go up and lead worship, but someone in the audience you don't like. You know, you need to say, hey, I'm not going to lead worship, I'm not going to lead this small group until I figure this out with this person, until we make up again, and then I will be pure enough to worship with them, or to lead their small group and be with them in that. So, that's the kind of the vibes we got from tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this week's weekly gospel. If you did enjoy this week's weekly gospel, please leave a like. If you did not like it, dislike it. Don't forget to share your opinion in the comment section down below, including any epiphany you had yourself this week. And I'll see you next time, guys. Or next week, guys. I'll see you next Sunday, guys. Bye, bye, bye.